Chrono Odyssey might be the next big MMO. I'm going to go over all the details with that, some of the hidden info, as well as the next beta sign up. We'll look at some of the previous closed tests that were very exclusive, go over all the details there and what was happening with that one. That way we can corroborate what will happen with this one, which will include some additional noteworthy details. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Chrono Odyssey. So let's just jump into it. Let's get into all the details with the upcoming test, what we're going to be seeing with that, and all the details surrounding that there. So first off, if you haven't seen, yes, Chrono Odyssey is a huge MMO that's coming out here soon. It is also having quite a massive beta test happening in June 2025. This one is a very simple and easy sign-up process. It is like many others, you just head to the Steam page and click request access. That is pretty much the only way and the best way to get into this playtest, doing that sooner than later. I'll go over some additional details there with that'll kind of help you get into the playtest, or at least give you better chances other than signing up sooner than later. Where we do have this article here from Times of India, where it does mention what happened with the previous test and basically kind of how it's going to be with this one. So as they mention here, it is a super simple request access process. You don't need to do any codes, or you won't get any codes. There's not going to be any surveys. It's just a one-click enter the pool. And of course, signups do not guarantee an entry. However, your chances can improve by registering sooner, as I went over already. They do mention that the exact selection criteria has not been revealed by the developers. However, going off the previous tests that Kakao Games have done, they have given certain priority to hardware that aligns with UE5 diversity, and that the survey responses that are handled there. Now, as of right now, Epic doesn't really publish their hardware surveys, but we can go off one that does, which is Steam. So we can look at the averages here for this. Obviously, we're seeing mostly 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 6 CPU physical core or physical cores, as well as the 4060 laptop GPU being the highest average GPU. Or next in line would be the 3060, 4060, and 1650. So again, the averages are going to be probably around this, or they're going to want that many players to fill that role. That's at least my assumption there, is they're going to want to have an average of each of these GPUs based on their percentages. I'll link down below to the Steam survey so you can check it out and look all the averages there. But it will need to at least meet the unofficial requirements for better odds. So I'm assuming something like the 1650 probably won't be pushed into this test as much. Even though it has a higher average, it's probably more than likely going to be a higher end system. But that is the process of joining, and if you more than likely will get in or not. That's the best info we have so far, so you just have to wait and see. You might be asking, what type of MMO is Chrono Odyssey? This is going to give a dynamic and engaging combat system with these 6 traditional classes somewhat, each having their own unique playstyle and the ability to manipulate time. That is kind of where the unique factor comes into play here. But there are the 6 available classes, which starts off with the Swordsman. Of course, they can freely wield different types of swords and excel in close quarter combat. You next up here have the Ranger, which will be the mastery of bows, of course. And they will actually have some close quarter combat here as well with the Rapier. Next up here we do have the Sorcerer. Of course, they are a magic based class, but they also have some defensive abilities here, like being able to vanish. And of course, they'll typically have access to ice, fire, and lightning spells. There's probably going to be another fan favorite here, which is the Paladin. They'll wield a mace or lance imbued with holy powers, where they can of course also wield a shield. And they will partake, of course, in Sanctuary or Divine Punishment. It wouldn't be an MMO without a Berserker or Warrior class, where they do have raw power and relentless attacks, and they will be mostly wielding an axe. Last up here for the 6 classes, we do have the Assassin class. Of course, they have a more swift approach to things, and pretty cool here, they actually do have a musket, as well as some wrist blades that they can wield. So pretty diverse selection here with those first 6 starter classes, and all classes can actually time manipulate in combat. This is something very unique to MMOs, where you can strategically stop and rewind time, opening up a wide array of tactical possibilities. Might use it to evade powerful enemy attacks or devastating skill combos. That's what pretty much sets this MMO apart from the rest. It's also made in UE5, which is particularly uncommon in the MMO industry, so it will have some really nice graphics. Now moving along here, we do have some additional details, and jumping back to the closed beta stuff, how that one played out to the previous test and how that's going to kind of align with this one. Now they did have a very exclusive test way back, but we actually do have some details from that one. That test did record an average playtime of around 11 hours 20 minutes, It had included various content such as regional bosses, dungeons, and wanted items. They also had a further infograph here of the top 3 weapons being bow, sword and shield, and crossbow, the top 3 defeated enemies, and the most popular content by rank, where the most popular area was the Saroma Stronghold. So pretty decent there overall with the averages. This time around though, it does look like 400,000 people have signed up for this already, so you might want to get to signing up very soon. Now this closed beta test is limited to PC as of right now. However, if you're asking, will it come to other platforms? Yes, it will. They have the goal of launching on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S in the Q4 of this year. So we'll be launching this year in the later half of 2025. However, if you're not able to play on PC this time around, you can watch NDA free because everybody will be able to stream and take footage. It's also going to be at the Summer Games Fest on June 6th, and it's going to make another appearance at Gamescom, which will be between the August 20th and 24th dates. And again, they still have the target release being second half of this year, so I imagine it'll be around Gamescom era. They're still internally making a decision on a second closed beta test based upon the first one's results. So I would assume that second beta test would happen during Gamescom, although the target release is around there, so it would be very, very close to release. Again, based upon how the participation happens in this one, they'll make a decision there. Now we do have some additional mentionables here. This first one is they have started an official Discord and a fandom wiki. I'll include a link down below to both where you can join up in their Discord. There's also my Discord down below if you do want to join, although I don't have a Chrono Odyssey channel just yet. Potentially closer to release, and we'll see how the beta goes. I might start one. And depending on if I cover more content, again, might start one there as well. For now, if you want to join, you can just talk about it in off topic. But there is an official Discord where all the highlights and announcements will happen there. And again, any information that does come out, of course, I will cover it. They've also started a creator program. If any creators are watching and do want to join up into that, you can sign up. I've sent my application in, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, I will include links to everything down below if you want to check those out. We do have 2 last additional mentionables here. This first one is they are already posting some lore about the game. So if that does interest you, it looks like the CMs are posting some lore here with the Sakura Satura that fell into the void. And they want you to find her and tell the future that has changed, and to essentially save the shattered world. So really cool there. Again, if you do want to join the official Discord, they are dropping a little bit of secrets there. We also have this mention here that a closed beta trailer has reached over 1 million views in less than 24 hours. Again, that's how I got those 400,000 signups on Steam already. I would do so as soon as possible for that, as this has absolutely been blowing up. The game has been pushing some really high numbers. People are really craving a new MMO. I do think this and the next year is going to be the year of MMOs. We got a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of new games that are going to be launching. Obviously, Dune is coming out here soon. Chrono Odyssey. We have a few other games that I'll be covering as well. And playing, of course. So I do think this next year or so is going to be the year of the MMO. They do switch back and forth, and Chrono Odyssey looks like it could make its mark. Overall, though, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed, I'd like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.